Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing another deep dive on a nutrition facts label. I'm not going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of two products that look very similar but are actually nutritionally significantly different, but instead I'm going to be taking a look at something that we all probably have, and I'm going to be comparing the front label to the back label. Today I'm going to be looking at chocolate syrup. Okay, so chocolate syrup is something that we like to add into the milk because it does make it more palatable to the kids, and we want our kids drinking milk. Absolutely. But what are we adding in, and is it going to be worth it? Does the calculation make sense? Well, according to the front of the label, it sure does. There's no high fructose corn syrup in here. There's only 50 calories. There's only 1% of your sodium, and there's 12 grams of your total sugar. So overall, that doesn't sound so terrible. Just a cup of plain milk is already going to be contributing 14 grams of total sugar. So it sounds like this isn't going to really make much of a difference. And there's no high fructose corn syrup. So I'm going to take a look at the back side and look at the nutrition facts to get a better read on what I'm actually getting. So like they say on the front, because they do have to be accurate, there are 50 calories in 1 tablespoon, 1 serving. If I look at the nutrition facts, they have 2 columns here. One of them is just the syrup by itself, and the other one is the syrup plus 1 cup of milk. So what else do they advertise on the front? They said there's no saturated fat. That is true. There's no saturated fat. And when you add in the milk, you get a little bit of saturated fat. They said the sodium is at 1% or 20 milligrams. Yes, absolutely. Total sugar is 12 grams. Yeah. And if we take a quick look comparing the total sugar in the syrup, it's 12 grams, and the syrup plus milk, it's 25 grams. So now we're thinking, well, what's the problem here? Milk is contributing a lot of sugar itself. But now we're going to look at the added sugar. And there's 12 grams of added sugar in the syrup and another 12 grams of added sugar in the milk plus the syrup, which means that all of the sugar coming from the milk is naturally occurring and all of the sugar coming from the syrup has been added in. And then we're just going to take a look at vitamins and minerals. There's no vitamin D in the syrup. There's no calcium, no iron, no potassium, no vitamin A. They have calcium listed here because if you hop over to the second column, it looks like, if you hop over to the second column, you can see that when you mix your syrup in with your milk, you can get a lot of calcium, actually, 20% of your daily recommended allowance. But that's all coming from the milk. None of that is coming from the syrup. This syrup also has a little note that says if you use only 2 teaspoons plus 1 cup of milk, then you're going to reduce your sugar by 33%, which is 100% true because 1 tablespoon, which is their serving size, is the same thing as 3 teaspoons. So they've basically reduced the portion size and said, hey, you want to lower your sugar? Just take 2 teaspoons instead of 3 teaspoons. All in all, the syrup isn't adding anything nutritionally. It does contribute 12 grams of added sugar. And if you're thinking, well, 12 grams isn't that much, it's actually 25%, 1/4 of your daily sugar intake. So that's where you might start hesitating about adding this syrup into your milk because, by itself, milk is the thing contributing all of the nutrients to the chocolate milk. And when you add in the syrup, the only thing we've really done is increase the added sugar to the point where it's now 1/4 of our daily sugar needs. An alternative to using something like syrup would be to just mix up sugar, yes, but maybe just a little bit, with cocoa powder, and then add that in. And the truth is, we have a recipe up we'll link it below in the description, where kids can make it themselves, and as the grown-ups involved, we can control how much of that sugar they put in. So if we don't want them using, how much is this? 12 grams of sugar, then we can reduce the amount of sugar. And so our kids can still have chocolate milk, it can still help them get all those nutrients that are in milk, and it can help reduce the amount of added sugar they're getting in their diets. Well, I'll be back next week taking a deep dive on another nutrition fact label. If you have a burning question, let me know in the comments below. I'll be sure to take a look at your food, and I will see you next week.